2, 1. You're live. Okay. Hello. Good evening,
Awesome.
everyone. Welcome to Wellbeing Thursday. Welcome. We're going to start in a minute. I'm just waiting for my lovely guest. Today I have a super special guest, Dagmara Pluta, and we will be talking about removing limiting beliefs. Welcome, Dagmara.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you can hear me and see me well. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Today we'll be talking about very important topic about creating better life, better quality of life by removing limiting beliefs. And Dagmara is the expert in this topic. Dagmara is a life coach, counselor, and access consciousness facilitator and Theta healing practitioner. For the last 12 years, she has been working with individuals all over the world, seeking to achieve change, ease, and joy in their lives, release obstacles, and manifest their dreams. Her interests and expertise include coaching people struggling in personal and business relationships, lacking self confidence, overcoming fears, including public speaking, depression, learning difficulties, body issues, self image abuse, lack of direction in life, just to name a few. Her clients value her for openness, individual approach, non-judgmental approach that allows them to lower their barriers and share their stories. Her sessions are dynamic, transformational, and empowering. She promotes trust in your own knowing, claiming and owning your talents, capabilities, and potency, and making choices from the space of what will create the most for you and those around you. While her facilitating techniques vary, they are based on the same principle, i.e., the more you have of you, the easier and more joyful it is to create the life and the living you truly desire. And let me just say this, that it is absolutely true. I have known Dagmara for several years and we have been working together. She has helped me shift my own limiting beliefs, my own confidence, a lot of blockages that I used to have. And I know that every single word that her bio states is absolutely true. Welcome, Dagmara.
Thank you so much, Kasia. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So happy to be here and so happy to do the live with you and share more information with those interested. So super honored. Thank you.
Amazing. So, Dagmara, today it's an important topic because a lot of people maybe do not realize how important it is actually to find and to diagnose and then to remove the limiting beliefs. So, what is your definition of limiting beliefs?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for me, a limiting belief is basically any information that you are aware of or not aware of, which is either in your conscious or subconscious mind, that is impacting your life. And limiting beliefs can be both positive and negative, because most people think about negative limiting beliefs, but actually sometimes a positive belief can also be very limiting. And I've experienced it myself when going from one career to another, because I was so happy and successful in my first career, entering the other one, even though has been my dream. It was challenging because, like, am I going to be as good as I was in the previous one? So that was limiting. But of course, most people actually deal with negative limiting beliefs, and they basically run their life. And unfortunately, oftentimes those beliefs are so deep, and they're so deep in the subconscious mind that we are not aware of them. And sometimes we consciously think that they are not there, but they are there. And I myself am an example of this. Like, consciously, there are so many things that I think they don't bother me. I don't believe in these things. I know they're there. I know they're part of collective consciousness, but I feel like they're not part of my life. But the more I dig and check certain things, then I see, oh yeah, it is in my DNA, it is in my lineage, it is something that my ancestors had. And it actually, even though I think that on the conscious level it's not, it was to a certain degree impacting my life. So I would just say it's any information system or piece of information that is not allowing your full potential, who you truly are, to come to fruition and for you to manifest what you desire in your life in alignment with your soul, with your heart. Yeah, it's not about, because sometimes the issue is that we think we have certain dreams, but they are actually not our true dreams. We just copy others. Or we are impacted by the media, by whatever is projected onto us. So then those dreams, oftentimes they don't come true also because they're actually not aligned with our true heart, our true soul. And that's why they're not coming true as well. So it's looking at what's in alignment with me and what do I truly desire, and then what's the information, the belief that's blocking me from getting there.
Mm-hmm. And what are the most common, because obviously we both work with clients and you have quite a substantial experience with that. What are the most common limiting beliefs that you come across?
Mm-hmm. So a lot of judgment of oneself. So like I deal with, like, for example, before when I was teaching, so dealing with such beliefs as I'm not good enough, but it's not only of course in education, but in general, I'm not good enough, I can't get it, I'm too old or too young to be in that position to get something. Then there's a lot of limiting beliefs also about money. So like the most, like in Access, we talk a lot about it, like that money is the root of all evil. So on the one hand, we will say, oh, I want more money. But if the subconscious belief is that money is actually going to harm you, and or you're going to become a bad person or something, then no matter how much you're going to pray for big money, millions, whatever, you're never going to manifest it, because the whole thing in Theta is that the subconscious mind has certain beliefs, but the whole idea is that those beliefs are like the subconscious mind, its function is to keep us safe and protected. So it's not that we are actually it's not like our mind is working against us, but it's trying to protect us. So it's keeping those beliefs for a certain reason, and the whole thing is trying to understand what the reason behind it and then change it. So we'll go into that later, but I just kind of want to show that these are not like bad beliefs, but it's just they're there for a reason. In terms of money, this could be beliefs that are very deep. Like I've worked with people from Poland, especially also within my family, people who like were working on money issues. And the problem was like, if I have a lot of money, someone will come and take the money away, because, for example, what happened in Poland when communism was introduced, and a lot of people who were well off actually lost their wealth because that was the political system. That's what the government was doing. So even though, like, I know myself, like, okay, now we are 21st century, it was so many years ago, but I did discover it in my DNA as well, that was one of the reasons where I had resistance towards money. And because like someone's going to come and take it away, and it's so illogical, and you can say like, where is that coming from? But it's so deep in the genes, on the subconscious level. So kind of, that's why I love working with the tools that I am working with, because it allows us, the tools allow us to go deep and see what's truly behind what's happening in our lives. Yeah. So there could be lots of other points of views related to body, that we have to look a certain way, or what else? Yeah, just like these are the most common ones. Or just judging even certain things that happen in our lives, like before, let's say we did something or we made a mistake, or like however we define a mistake, because a mistake for me could be like, yes, maybe we didn't choose wisely, but we chose according to the information that we had then, and we made our best choice there and then. Later on, maybe it turned out it wasn't the greatest choice, but we got something out of it. So, and then the more we judge ourselves for what happened, that keeps us stuck also in the past. So like points of views like, I will never forgive them, I will never forgive myself, I don't trust myself. So all of those thoughts that we keep unconsciously thinking in our heads, they actually run our life.
Very true. So, very true. So you can already start thinking like, about yourself. And for those of you who are watching us or watching the replay, you can start thinking, what is the subconscious belief, or the belief that you actually realize, that you recognize, that is frequently coming up and appearing, like, in my case, for example, it was like, I have to work hard, and I have to, and that made me basically perfectionist and workaholic. And these are the things I've been undoing now,
Yeah.
because there's no necessity for that.
This one is such a good, like, I also struggle with that a lot. I have to work hard. I cannot rest, because if I rest, that's kind of like idle time, and resting and relaxing is wrong, because then I'm not using my time productively. And then also a big one that I work with a lot of clients, which is I have to suffer in order to grow and evolve. That's a big belief that's in the collective consciousness, and I would say probably in all countries in the world, that through we grow through suffering. And I'm not saying that there is zero truth, like, yeah, we will grow and evolve, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary to go through that. And I always compare it to children. Where children are born, they naturally want to walk, run, discover the world, and we don't have to hurt them in order to motivate them to learn. We don't. It's only putting them through strict, sometimes like educational systems, like maybe not appropriate, or criticism, and stopping and limiting them. That's what's causing blockages that later on they have to look for intrinsic or extrinsic motivation, to motivate themselves to achieve certain things in life. But if we don't stop them out of joy and out of love, they will always grow and they will always develop. So that's a big point of view that I often, like, I've almost included into every session. Like, are you willing to release all those people who are trying to teach you the positive through negative? Would you like to learn positive through positive? And it's a very deep belief. It's not like, sometimes it goes in one session, sometimes a couple of times. Like, I know I needed it a couple of times, because I was like, nope, if I'm not going to suffer, if I'm not going to kick myself like in the bum, I'm never going to go forward.
Exactly. And okay, so we know that the limiting beliefs do harm us, do limit us, do cause frustration, suffering, going into, like I've mentioned, workaholism, suffering. I mean, imagine for the people who do not rest, they become burned out, right? So there's a lot of damage that they cause us. And the question is, why do we keep them? Knowing all of that, why do we keep limiting beliefs in our life? Why we cannot just like let go of them?
That's an awesome question. And it's like, so the whole thing is that we are getting whatever is happening, we are benefiting from it in some kind of weird and twisted way. We are getting something out of it. Even though we're suffering, we're still getting something out of it. Okay, I'll give you an example from my life. I've always been also a high achiever. Achieve, work myself to like literally work, not resting. But I knew that that was related to one of my parents, which one of my parents was not very emotionally available. So it was, if you achieve, you will be loved. And again, it was something that was running subconsciously in the family. So I would not allow myself to rest, because that was not promoted. Like, it was, no, you need to work. Like, sometimes, yes, my dad would say rest, but it kind of came later. But subconsciously, I was always like, if I'm going to rest, I'm not going to be loved. I'm not going to be respected. I'm going to be like lazy, and I'll never achieve. So so that was the benefit. And there are a lot of people who, like, in whatever belief they're holding on to, there is some benefit. It's just that it could be safety and security. Like, I've worked with one client also 3 days ago, where there was like a lot of control in a relationship, but there is safety and security. So or there, it could be financial, it could be emotional, there could be trying to protect your image, trying to protect the image of the family, so the family can function well in the society, in the community that they are in. So I've also worked with a person in a like in a very large family where they all live together, and one person would dominate the whole family, and they would kind of allow it, because when we dug deep into the past, when the country was colonized, having one leading person in the family, and that's in a lot of countries, was the only way to survive for the whole family. But now the situation has changed. We are way many years ahead of us, and that is not needed anymore. But that pattern and program was still running in the family. So there was the benefit, because it was a subconscious, usually safety and security. So recognizing that was the case, and then reprogramming the mind and showing the subconscious mind that we are safe now, that we are secure. And what's really important, that there are other ways to get that, then through, rather than choosing the pattern and the behavior we've been choosing, is something that will switch things and make them work differently. And so it doesn't mean that changing those points of views and beliefs does not always mean drastic changes. So it doesn't mean, oh, you have to leave the family, or you have to leave the relationship, or you have to move out of the country. No. When the moment you change the belief within you, the external world does not have to respond to your energetic frequency in that way anymore. So that behavior very oftentimes disappears. I don't know if that's making sense, but the whole thing is like, if we carry a certain program and certain pattern within us, the surrounding, the environment will always respond to what's within us. So the moment we change the point of view, the belief, the pattern, or the frequency within us, then the external environment does not stop responding in that way. So we start attracting different people. The dynamic within the family changes. The dynamic within the business changes. So yeah, so I hope that's making sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, all right, knowing that the beliefs are there, we're trying to keep them because they protect us, they serve us in some kind of weird way. And you know, when you start investigating, when you start talking to people, and usually it is when people are either they have enough, they just reach the point of like something really drastic is happening in their life, such as divorce, job loss, you know, sickness, all those things. When you really start being inquisitive about your life and start like evaluating what's happening, who am I, what is it happening to me, what's wrong, and whatever. So you start like looking closely, and usually it's then, sometimes no, because sometimes people are more curious or willing to work on themselves. Then they are like, okay, let's remove it. What do we do? So tell me, how do we remove negative beliefs?
Awesome. And I really like also with a lot of the things that you've just mentioned, that yeah, some people wait till there is kind of like a tragic situation, and some people so I don't really recommend that. If you're aware that there is a certain pattern that's running in your life, deal with it. Don't wait. Like, to be honest, like I am a little bit on the extreme side. So if something happens in my life that doesn't give me joy and makes me upset, I often, not always, but often go like, okay, what information, what point of view, what kind of hidden need has created that behavior? So it really has helped me actually preempt a lot of catastrophes in my life, like unpleasant situations. So okay, so how do we do it? So I work with a lot of different tools, but the ones that I've been working with recently is basically Theta healing modality. So Theta healing is like a meditation healing modality that allows you to access the subconscious mind and change the points of views. So Theta basically comes from the word theta relates to the theta brain wave. So we have 5 different brain waves, which is gamma, beta. Beta is the one that we are functioning at right now, the logical mind, when we are awake, talking, thinking. Then there is alpha, which is meditative state. Then there is theta, so that's deeper meditation, and delta, which is deep sleep. So theta is between the meditation and deep sleep. So we are super relaxed. And what happens is during that phase, we have access to the 90% of our subconscious mind. So our mind consists of 10% conscious and 90% subconscious. And the subconscious has lots of like functions, but the main one is to protect us and to run our life. And it is in a really good way, because it also is running our like body, our like, we don't have to think consciously and logically about how our brain works, our hearts, our different organs. It just happens for us. And then there's also the illogical part, the emotional part, that when we try to make a logical decision, like let's say I will exercise every day, but then we wake up the next day and then there is the emotional response, which is like, no way, we're not getting out of bed. Like staying till 11 in bed is much more fun than going out and exercising. Then that part comes from the subconscious mind, that is the illogical mind. And so there must be some kind of information there that is creating that. So basically in Theta, once we are in the state and we are very, very relaxed, we go there and we check what's happening there, and we dig very, very deep until we get to the bottom belief. That's super important, because there will be lots of beliefs on the way, but it's getting to the bottom one to see what truly happened and what's causing it is so, so crucial. And then in Theta, we work with the energy of, and now there are different words, of the energy of the source or creator or God. So I love this technique because like I've worked with people who follow different religions, or don't follow any religion, and it just works. And we ask the energy of the creator, the source, to support us in deleting whatever is not working and teaching our subconscious mind that there is a different way. Okay, so instead of, for example, I don't know, protecting yourself against big money because you're going to lose them, then we ask to learn and for our subconscious mind to accept that there is abundance and that we can have huge amounts of money and keep the money and use it and have it. And so by request, by downloads and deletion of negative points of views, we are able to reprogram the subconscious mind. So Theta allows the logical mind to go into the illogical subconscious mind and reprogram it. And then later on, it's really a lot of things have become automatic. So we don't have to control the behavior to such a great extent afterwards. I'm not saying not at all. We still have to be aware what kind of thoughts we are thinking, because even though if we do the session and someone decides after the session to go and constantly repeat the same story, the negative information, constantly complain, then the session has done its job. But like we still have responsibility to like, okay, I'm not going to continue repeating this story. I'm going to allow the positive message to go into my subconscious mind and reprogram it. But it is so much easier because there's no more need to do that. Yes, like especially when we work with the body and we get to the bottom of why somebody is, for example, doing binge eating. Yes, so when we get to the bottom, that maybe, for example, like our Theta instructor, like she often gives this example of someone who comes from a family that has experienced famine in the past. So then this person, even though it could be 4 or 5 generations after, they are like, okay, but if there is little food in the house or I'm not eating enough, then the subconscious mind feels unsafety because it means that I'm poor, I cannot afford it, something's wrong. Like, and so reprogramming the subconscious mind, like, no, there is abundance of food, I can go and get it, but there is no need to eat that much. So and just listening to the body. So that, but it's a super, super deep. So reprogramming that and changing the information really shifts so that people really don't, even sometimes after one session, they quit binge eating. So
amazing. Dagmara, in the meantime, we had few comments and questions, so let me just highlight. Najib is asking, can we have a map to solve such problems? So what do you say to that? What is the map?
So that's an awesome question. And the answer is basically, unfortunately, yes and no. So let's say if you want to learn how to do it for yourself, because it is possible. So it is really nice to work with someone, because the other person who is the facilitator like creates space for you and we feel safer. So me being a facilitator, and same for you, I'm sure you have similar experience. Of course, I can do a session on myself, and I do it often, very often times. but there are certain topics when I'm very emotionally involved, and it's difficult. It's difficult to go deep there. Like, I really ask my fellow friends who are theta healers. I ask them, can you please do a session with me, because that holds space. Okay, so when you take the courses and you learn how to do theta healing, yes, you learn kind of a map. You learn stages of what to do to get to the bottom belief and remove it. So the answer is yes. However, there is no each person will be different and each situation will be different. Okay, so like, for example, today I had an amazing session where I was working with a person who I've had kind of worked in a similar situation with a person from the same culture before. So at some point I thought like, oh yeah, it's going to go this way and it's going to be this and that, and I'll just have to do this and that and we're going to be over. No way. Her answers were so different. So there is never kind of the same. The problem may be a little bit similar, but the reason why someone is holding on to something, in most cases, is very different. So you really have to, you can never decide, okay, I know the solution. It's only the person that we are working on that they know what's truly deep in there. And we have to dig until we get to the bottom. So, but it would definitely, there are tools you can learn how to do it, and as we were saying, so our instructors, Mavish and Nashma, have a theta healing intro this Saturday, so we can also share a link and you can find out more about it, and you can, of course, you can learn the tools, and you don't have to be a facilitator for others. You can learn it and do it for yourself or swap with others.
Absolutely. Amazing, Dagmara. Perfect. Now, I will encourage you, my dear audience, whoever's watching us live, if you have a question for Dagmara, you can just type it in. Before I will share just Edvard's comment, which is very relevant. If you achieve, you will be loved and respected. Very common in immigrant families. Yes, yeah. All over the world. You know, it's not only being from Europe, Eastern Europe. It's in a lot of countries. I've seen it as well. So yeah, very good comment.
Very common, and that's where we work a lot. That with the love of that comes from the source, from the creator, from God. This is always unconditional, and so that's a big part of every session, reprogramming the subconscious mind, that we are always supported, that as long as we are connected with the source and the pure love that's within us, we are always loved, we are always supported, we are always taken care of. And that's when we truly relax. And when we get to that space and we truly relax, it's just like miracles start happening, because everything starts flowing. But having that source connection, that the deep, like pure love, then we just say, no, we don't have to achieve, but we choose to do that because it's fun and we can contribute to other people and fulfill our mission in a way. Yeah, like why we're here on the planet Earth. Yeah, and be of service to others.
Exactly. Dagmara, I have a very special question now. Are you ready?
Yes, I get scared, but no, go on.
Okay, so what happens when somebody has a lot of limiting beliefs and I've seen it in members of my family, I've seen it in my clients, I've seen it in my friends, is like when you hear them, when you listen to them, you just don't even know where to start. And that's how I was feeling, even being psychologist, you know. And that's why I love theta healing so much, because it's a very handy tool that actually shows you how to do it, right? So let's dive into that question. What do you do when you have like a whole list of limiting beliefs?
Yeah, like myself. Like when I started, yes, I was like, every time I would do one class after another, then I would just literally, I have like a notepad in my phone where I'm just writing what to clear. And then my facilitators always laugh at me, like I always come with a list. But because I'm aware of these things, and I am aware that they are really sabotaging my life. And like I'm, because of those, sabotaging my life. So I want to remove them. But the great thing about that I absolutely love is that sometimes when people come for a session, I ask them up to 2 to 3 things maximum that they want to work on. But sometimes if these are like beliefs that are related to the same topic, it could be even 5, 6, 7, 8. And then what we ask the facilitator, or unless we do the session on ourselves, we ask which of those beliefs do I need to work on, that once we remove that one, the whole, let's say, pyramid or whatever is just going to collapse. And it is so amazing, and we can actually test it. So we do a lot of muscle testing in Theta. So first, let's say someone comes with 5 limiting beliefs. So we test them that they are truly there, because it's also sometimes we think that we have this belief, but we actually don't have it, but we have something similar. So we test which points of view beliefs are there. Then we ask the source, the creator, me, like let's say me as a facilitator, you as a facilitator, which one is the dominating one. And then after the session, we check that we can see that those points of views, actually, we only worked on one, but all of them are gone. And that's what I love about Theta, is that I whenever I have a session, like a very, very deep session, then I can delete at least, let's say, a few other points, or like I have pieces of paper with different points that I want to clear. So I'm like, oh, I don't have to work on that anymore, because that session just already handled all of those points of views and ideas. So that's the beauty of Theta, that it's really, once you kind of purify one thing and release one pattern, then a lot of other ones disappear as well, because they just don't, there's no reason for them to exist anymore.
Amazing. Perfect. So we have a comment from
Nadia. Yes. Nadia, I love it too. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Nadia. Yeah.
We love this modality and all the goodness that is doing to people. So if there's any question for Dagmara, now this is the time to ask. And in the meantime, I will share Dagmara's Instagram. That's how you can find her. You can connect with her if you don't know her, or if you know her, that's how you can stay in touch and observe that space to see the latest updates. Knowing Dagmara, her life is dynamic as always, and a lot of amazing things are happening. So it's worth to stay in touch. Good. So Dagmara, what are you up to these days? What is the next step with regards to your practice and your journey with Theta healing?
So a lot is happening. Like I will be working with just as a consultant with people. I'll continue working this time more full time. And of course, I will continue learning. We'll continue learning and taking more Theta courses, because it's just like once you're on this journey, you just really want to learn more and more and more. So I just absolutely love it. For me, it gives me joy. It gives me joy for myself to involve, and it gives me joy to see people like when someone comes for one session, and sometimes after one session, like a big thing dissipates and the problem is gone. Sometimes a few sessions, there is no right and wrong, and I've actually been the person that I usually needed more sessions, but sometimes one session was enough. So it gives me so much joy and to do that. So yeah, I will continue working with people, and I will continue learning and just following that journey of evolution, of purifying the patterns that are not working, so that there's more ease and more joy, and that we're closer to nature, closer to pure love and our true source connection, and who we truly are. Because I believe that's what it's all about. Like as you said at the beginning, introducing me, it's the more we have of us, like who we truly are, and the more we're connected to our heart and the source, the safer we feel, the more creative we are, we can be of greater service to others, and like life flows more easily. And it doesn't mean that there won't be any challenges. It's not that. It's just that we will take them with more ease.
Definitely, our approach will change, and that's the beauty of it. Our perception of problems will change, and therefore our life will change, because we are acting and reacting differently. So that's the beautiful journey. Perfect. Good. Well, that's all for today. I hope it's just the beginning of our social media journey, and I will have a pleasure of hosting you here again and again.
Thank you
Um,
so much. That
and
was lovely. Yeah.
thank you for sharing all your knowledge. And everyone who's watching us live, thank you for being live, and everybody who's watching replay. Stay in touch, observe the space, get in touch with Dagmara, and all the best.
And with Kasia, yes, who's also doing theta sessions.
And with me,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So definitely, if there are any topics that people would like to hear more about, then like we definitely can do another live and just focus on more specific topics and tools. So that would be amazing. Thank you so much, Kasia, for having me. It was really a pleasure and an honor. And thank you. And thank you to everyone who was watching us live and asking questions and comments.
For being with us tonight, Dagmara, and for sharing your amazing wisdom. Thank you so much once again, and everyone who was watching, thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye.